Okay, I know I'm in Calgary, so I bet a bunch of you have been to family brandings. But I had never been to one on a ranch, and I was invited to this wonderful ranch that was way out away from any towns or anything, so they invited me to stay at the ranch house the night before the branding was going to happen. And in the morning, this beautiful light woke me up. I was sleeping, and I woke up and I saw this beautiful light, and I looked outside and I saw that sky, and they were one of the coolest skies, and the sun was coming up, and the horses were in the pasture, and it was so beautiful, and I grabbed my camera and I ran down, and I started taking pictures, and then this horse came up to me, and oh man, it was so great. And so I shot until the horse walked away, and then I kind of went, yes, like this, and at that point, I turned around and I saw there were like 3 or 4 cowboys sitting there watching the crazy lady from National Geographic. That's when I realized I was in my t-shirt and underwear. I had been so excited to go take the pictures that I forgot to put my pants on. And I tell you this story, kids, because my wish for you guys is that you find something in your life that you're so excited about, that you love so much, that you forget to put your pants on. Then you know you've got a great life. You can see why they were a little scared of me. I mean, here I am with my Minnesota Zoo t-shirt and my ball cap and these gigantic glasses, which they'd never seen before, and my horrid white skin. And yet what I like about this picture is, doesn't it look like we're chatting like girlfriends? And so what an amazing experience for, I was a 20-something kid from Minnesota, and I learned from this encounter that you can get much closer to people if you're willing to make an idiot out of yourself pantomiming than if you have the perfect little interpreter, and I talk to her and she talks to the interpreter, and we smile stupidly at each other and back again. And that was a really important lesson for me to learn, was that the single best way to gain the trust of another human being was to be a human being. And they could do it too. We had clear communication. The mothers would lift a breast up and point to their mouths, and I knew that they were asking if I had some sort of magic potion that would help their milk to come in better, because the 7 years of drought had left them battling malnutrition for their kids. This is where they lived, the most beautiful desert in the world. And yet, how would you like to find lunch? Imagine. And yet, these extraordinary women were surviving where I bet nobody in this room could possibly survive. And I learned at that point that how resilient and strong and willing women are around the world to make a better life for their kids and their communities. The kids and I then spent about 5 years on and off working in the Middle East, and it remains our family's kind of best memory, most cherished time. This is Petra, where we lived, and this is the glorious Kingdom of Jordan. And you can probably see this is a famous building that's carved out of the sandstone called a monastery. In its heyday, because the Nabateans figured out how to trap water, this was a city of 30,000 people, and every building was carved out of the sandstone. So take a look at the little disc on the top of that building. That's the size it is. These were giant buildings. And this was my dear friend Hamoudi, who I just followed. Anywhere he would go, I would follow him, and he knew Petra, every inch of it. And the kids loved it. They grew up like little Bedouins, milking goats and riding donkeys and camels and throwing stones and just being kids. And we discovered this extraordinary, loving culture where the first word any Arab kid or adult learns in any language is welcome. You are welcome. And they mean it. And every adult looks out for every child, and the family unit and the tribal unit is so sacred to them. And so I watched my kids just drink this in. This is Lily, and she's learning to write her name in Arabic, and she's doing it the way that Bedouin kids do, where you put a stick in the fire, and when it turns to charcoal, then you use it to draw on rocks. It was interesting, I showed this picture when I was in Bahrain not too long ago, and the whole audience went, Layla! Because that's, you know, what they called her. They called her Layla.